What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of Student Fire, live from the Speak Fire studio. I'm your host, Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I'm so pumped to just rock this day with you. How you doing? Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're checking this out. First off, thank you for rocking with us, y'all. Us, the Speak Fire team, we are so thankful for each and every single one of our listeners. Y'all are phenomenal. First and foremost, the entire Speak Fire team and I want to wish all of you, our fantastic listeners, a happy Thanksgiving. We hope that you had a wonderful holiday, and we can't wait to see where Christmas goes. My students, my teachers, and my administrators, buckle up. You are about to enter the most difficult period of the year that you're going to face. I don't care if it's state testing. I don't care if it's getting ready for finals. This is the hardest time. Why? Because you have 3 weeks, and we all need you to be fully engaged in what you're doing for the next 3 weeks before this magical season that comes, which is winter break. Now, fun part about this, getting into this season is awesome, right? A lot of you went home for Thanksgiving, a lot of you spent time with your family, maybe you didn't, maybe you just took some time off, whatever happened, you weren't at school. But now we need to get back in that school mode, and the problem is, there's no adjustment period. Usually after getting off the summer into the first semester or first quarter or whatever trimester you're on, or whatever you're on, there's usually like a couple day period where you can ease your way into the learning process. This, they're like, no, listen, we gave you guys a breather, and now we're going to kick it right back up to 100, and you'd better be able to keep up. Well, I want you to be able to keep up this year. I don't want this to be like last year where you got into this, leading up to winter break, and you're going, man, I'm just gonna coast. So how do we fix that? I don't need to teach you academics. I don't need to teach you how to be a good student, because we have episodes about that, and better yet, I've been getting a lot of feedback from you guys, which I thank you so much for. And a lot of you are telling me, Bobby, I don't need help with the academics part. I got that. I know how to study. Your episodes on how to study really helped. And more importantly, I've been working at that really hard. What I need is how do I stay motivated through this? How do I stay engaged? I want to break this down for you. There are 3 things that you need to focus on: your studies, your family, and yourself. The 3 keys to success for this season leading up to winter break are your studies, your family, and yourself. Now, I'm going to break this up into 3 separate episodes, so over the next 3 weeks, I'm going to help you lead up to it, right? Let's start with your studies. A lot of you know what's coming. For my high schoolers, it's just going to be probably some big test for a lot of your classes. For my collegiate students, listen, you know finals are coming. Don't try and hide from it. Don't try and deny it. They're coming. But all in all, what can we all gather from this? We have, a big test coming at the end of the semester, quarter, term, trimester, what have you. How do we prep for that? Well, easy. I want you to start studying now. What I want you to do is I want you to identify your hardest classes, be it that the professor or your teacher is hard, or that you just don't understand the information very well, or that you're having trouble retaining the information and recalling on it. I want you to take a couple of those classes, take your top 2. Keep this simple. Keep this simple. Take your top 2 classes that are giving you the most trouble, and I want you to go through and make a huge outline on your phone, on Microsoft Word. I don't care what you do it on, but make yourself an outline of all the subjects that are giving you trouble, and I want you to study those. What I want you to do is I want you to ask your teacher, hey, I'm having trouble and I need to start studying for finals now. First off, they're going to love that, because most kids wait until a couple days before to cram study. There was an article that was put out last week where they interviewed a bunch of high school students and a bunch of sophomore collegiate students, and they said, when do you start studying for your big tests? An overwhelming 80% said, about 2 or 3 days beforehand. That's cram studying. Cram studying has been proven to be the worst way to retain information. Sure, you might be able to pass the test easy because you're cramming all this information in, but come next semester, your likelihood of actually understanding and being able to recall that information is very low. So, let's stop cram studying. Take the time to make an outline. I want you to go ahead and make that outline and then make flashcards off of that. But Bobby, I've got 3 weeks. I get it. But what did we do last year, y'all? Last year you crammed. Last year you didn't recall the information on the test. And last year, you're the one that had to go home to your caregivers and say, hey, here's my report card. And it's not good. And you're not proud of it. And they're probably upset because they feel like you're quote unquote wasting time. But what really happened? You got lazy, y'all. You got lazy, and that's okay. It happens. It's okay. Don't beat yourself up. And more importantly, don't let your family beat you up for it either. See, I remember way back when I would come home with bad grades and my grandma would just lay into me for the rest of the day. The rest of the day, it was just didn't matter if it was sitting down at dinner, didn't matter if we were sitting in the front of the TV, just having some family time. Every so often, she'd throw a quip out like, man, you shouldn't be doing this. You should be studying. I'm so disappointed in the fact that you didn't pass this. I'm so disappointed that you got a C. You're not a C student. Y'all, turn the volume up here. We'll do whatever you need to do because I need you to listen to this one closely. Your grades are not a definition of you. Your grades are a definition of how you did at that exact moment on that exact test. That's all they are. Because guess what? My very first year in college, I failed my intro psychology class and I failed my intro music theory class. And both of my professors said, Bobby, I don't know if you should take this again. I don't know if you should continue this. I think you should consider a different degree path. Well, I came back next year because it was only offered in the fall semester. I came back ready to rock and I got a B in both classes. Why? Because I knew that grade didn't define me. That grade was not a showing of me. That grade was a showing of learning. That grade was a showing of transition. That grade was a showing of growth. Look at how you're growing over the years. Seriously, I used to keep all of my old report cards, and I still do. I keep all of them so I can show how much growth I've made. Because guess what? I don't care about that one grade. That letter on a piece of paper is not a showing of me permanently. That's a showing of where I was. I want to see where you can go. Because you have so much potential in you, and I know it. And I don't want your studies or a stupid grade to hold you back. So for those of you that are taking those hard classes, y'all, I feel you. Study. Do yourself the favor now. I know you're going to feel like you're missing out on something. All of my students that I worked with, that was the biggest complaint they all had was they're like, Bobby, I feel like I'm missing out. On what? Trust me, your boys are still going to be on the block hanging. Your family's still going to be chilling in the house. You're not missing anything by taking an hour. Heck, take a half hour out of your life to just study and take time for you. Take that time to study for this class, so come the final, you're not panicking. Truthfully, most of the time when you panic before an exam, you're panicked because you didn't study, because you don't recall the information. What you need to do is give yourself the time to learn the information and not just focus on recalling it. All right? That's all you got to do. You can do this. You can do this. That's all I got for you. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. Y'all, I hope this was helpful. If it was, hit me up on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, or Facebook. Let me know what you thought. Better yet, hop in the reviews on the podcast you're listening to this on and leave a review there. I check all of them and I will respond to everything that I can. Y'all, I love hearing from you. It's the highlight of my day. I hope everyone has a wonderful week. I hope you are rocking everything that you do. I hope nothing's getting in your way, and for whatever does get in your way, I know you're going to find a way to overcome it like you always do. Catch y'all on the next one. Peace!
I am excited to bring you my new book, Trendsetter, 7 Steps to Radically Stand Out to Be the Best You. This book details my journey of coming to the United States and being excited to embrace the American culture. But unfortunately, my culture was not accepted, and I found myself being bullied as a young girl. And in this process, I decided that I wanted to disconnect from my culture to be more accepted into American culture. And through that process, I got so depressed from trying to fit in that I attempted suicide my freshman year in high school. So this book talks about the journey of what I did to become radically transformed, to be the strong woman I am today. This book is something that's really going to enable the reader to understand and embrace who they are, embrace what makes them special, and become radically transformed. Get your copy today at becomingatrendsetter.com. Again, that is becomingatrendsetter.com. Or check it out at my website at aishathomas.org.
Whew, that was another awesome episode of the Student Fire podcast. Thank y'all for sticking around for this long, but I got a question for you. Have you ever thought about starting your own podcast? See, when I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions like, how do I record an episode? How do I get my show to apps? Like, do I have to do it individually, or can I just have one place that does everything for me? And most importantly, how do I make money from my podcast? Is that even an option? Well, honestly, y'all, your answer is Anchor. Anchor is the one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it is 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors that want to advertise on your podcast. Yes, you. That means you can get paid to make the podcast. You can get paid to podcast the right way. In fact, that's exactly what I'm doing right now by reading this ad. If you want to get down on this, if you want to make your podcast a reality and you want your success and your word to be a thing, man, you already know. Hop over to Anchor and give it a start. You won't regret it. Catch y'all in the next episode. Peace. We are Speakfire. Who are we? We are a collective of inspirational, motivational, life-guiding speakers here to help you make your best life available and real today. For everyone that's looking for anything and everything leadership, you have to check out my guy, Michael Gingras, over at Leadership Fire. For my youth that are coming up, for those of you that have questions that need answers, go hit up Sean B. He's the host of Young Fire, killing the game every single Monday. For those of you that have questions that go a little deeper, for those of you that need that internal fire inside of you, not just sparked, but you need those flames fanned, go check out Aisha Thomas with Internal Fire. For my fathers, y'all, you are the real MVP. Go check out my guy Jody Cedric, the host of Father's Fire. For my champions, for my people that need to be the champion of not only their day, but their entire life, man, you gotta check out my man Neil Legend over at Champion Fire. For my students, doesn't matter if we're talking elementary, middle school, high school, college, my graduate students, all of you, for everything student empowerment, student leadership, and student productivity, tune in to Student Fire with me, your host, Bobby Berg. We are Speakfire, live every Monday morning, 4 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You gonna wake up with us? Let's get it. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Student Fire podcast, live from the Speakfire studio. My name is Bobby Berg. I'm a motivational speaker for schools, and I am here to help you live your best life today.